So, all right, interesting. So you were on the job, you weren't super happy with being on outside sales, and again, I get that. I was a former salesperson actually for my family's insurance business. You want to go through it, so you went through a free course online, which is actually the way I originally did it, and then I continued to do kind of self-taught there. So you went through the free Python course. What made you go and say, okay, I need to ramp this up, and a boot camp is the thing that is going to make me, that's going to take me to the next level.
Yeah, I think the main one with that is that I think the networking aspect is really good and also working with other people.
Hmm.
So whether that's me explaining to other people how things work or kind of working things out as a group, I really enjoyed the group aspect.
Interesting.
And I knew that that would kind of put me on a deadline as far as, hey, I have this amount of time, got to do it. I'm putting skin in the game.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so there's a bit of a. Okay, I get that with the skin of the game. I'm curious if somebody had challenged you to go and say you can only use online learning courses or basic, like, like paid Udemy courses, things like that, to learn Python development and whatever resources you get for free. Do you think you would have been successful in the path? Do you think that would have you could have made the transition that way?
I think it's possible. For me, I think I could have done it. I think it probably would have taken longer.
Hmm.
And I don't know if the money I spent on the boot camp would have been worth an extra 6 months of searching. I don't know
Interesting.
if that trade-off is worth it.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking about it as a trade-off between the time it would have taken you to do it on your own versus actually getting into the boot camp and getting a head start. So do you almost see it like a do you almost view the money as like a time saver?
Oh, 100%.
Really? It's interesting. I've talked to lots of people coming out of boot camps, and I've always heard the structure argument for boot camps, but I've never heard the time saving. So, right, because again, my journey was I started off basically I basically decided I'm going to be a developer. God damn it, and I'm going to make the transition to do that. I picked up Zed Shaw's How to Learn Python the Hard Way, which really spoke to me. Like I've never read a course like that, and I did that. But then it took me, let's see, that was in the beginning of 2012. I wasn't really using Python on my job for another 2 to 3 years. And I wouldn't say I was fully invested into it with, maybe 5 years, right, to be able to do that. So it took me a while to go through this transition. You kind of saw this as, well, I could do something like that, or I could go through and do it. But you didn't see it as, well, if I take 3 years, you didn't think it would be impossible if I didn't go through the boot camp. You just saw it as accelerating you to whatever pace you were at, to get you.
Yes. Yeah, I would definitely say with the accelerating, I think that another big aspect of it is that with the you're in the boot camp,
Mhm.
you know what you're doing, you're on a direct path. Versus if you're learning in your free time, you're kind of alone in that kind of like I was just in my room just doing
Right.
Python. And it's COVID, so it's with all the other people that was such a big help.
Right.
And I think it also got over the imposter syndrome by being in the boot camp. I'm in something official. I'm doing this versus I'm on my free code camp. I'm on Udemy. I'm on whatever these options are. And they're great options.
Right.
And for some people, they can work. But I think for speed, ease of use, being on a track, networking, there's other benefits to being in the boot camp.
That's actually that's really interesting. I've never heard it described that way.